Violinist Rachel Barton Pine recently stopped by.
Take a look.
She's an international concert violinist who has won some of the most prestigious awards in classical music. And she's gearing up to release her 24th album later this month. Wow.
That's right. And this month also marks 20 years since a terrible train accident left her with life-altering injuries. Rachel Barton Pine is here to tell us how she's refused to let that, or anything for that matter, stand in the way of her amazing music. Welcome, Rachel.
Great to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you. Now, you have to tell us what first drew you to the violin, because you've been playing ever since the age of 7, correct?
Actually, the age of 3.
No
when
way.
I first started.
How can you even pick up a violin at 3?
You know, they make little itty bitty ones.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, I saw some girls in church, middle school age girls playing, and I just loved the sound of the instrument and, of course, their beautiful long dresses. So I just knew that that's what I wanted to do. And by the time I was 5, I'd really come to the belief that this is what I was meant to do with my life, and this is who I am.
So what age did you make your first big public appearance?
Yeah, well, it was 7, as you said, the first time I soloed with a professional orchestra.
Were you terrified at the age of 7?
Oh, no, not at all.
You
I
were
just thought
pro
it was
by then, right?
Well, I just thought it was so much fun. I also really believe that music is here to uplift our spirits, and that it's such a great gift and a great joy to do that and to share this beautiful music with people. So I've never thought there was anything to get nervous about.
Now, when you were 20 years old, you were involved with a train accident that left you with some pretty bad injuries. Can you talk to us about that and how that affected your career as a violinist?
Yeah, well, obviously, back then, as you said, 20 years ago, you know, as I was recovering from my injuries, I had to kind of push the pause button on my touring and recording and all the things that I'd been doing so intensely since childhood. And so that was difficult to have to kind of wait it out and then get things going again. But I definitely was able to keep my spirits up thanks to the support of so many, not only friends, but so many kind strangers as well.
Yeah,
and the music itself, I'm sure.
Yeah, and you went through almost 40 different surgeries. How do you
That's
say
right.
you kept your
Pretty
strength
wild.
up? Oh, that's amazing. You said you kept your strength up, but what was it that kept you going and what made you continue fighting?
Well, honestly, during my childhood years, my father was unemployed for most of the time I was a student, and so things were very tenuous in our household, trying to pursue music when we couldn't even pay our monthly bills, and trying to hold on to my dream in the face of seemingly insurmountable obstacles. And just living through that was so formative to who I am, and just holding on to my faith that this is what I was meant to do with my life, even if I can't see how it's going to be possible tomorrow. And so I kind of drew upon those lessons when I was then facing yet more challenges later on.
That's amazing. And you were nominated for an NPR Heritage Award for shining a light on some of the musicians of African descent and their contributions to classical music. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, I'm just so excited about any good music out there, and there's this whole body of repertoire going all the way back to Mozart, you know, 1700s, composers of African descent from Europe, the Caribbean, from North America, who have written amazing classical music that has been completely unjustifiably neglected. And I started becoming aware of this as a teenager, just living in Chicago and having the great blessing of knowing conductors and other musicians who were looking into some of this repertoire, and just really fell in love with so many different composers and pieces that I've been very fortunate to help bring to light, and also to help inspire young African-American students that this is not somebody else's music, but Booker T. Washington was a violinist, Frederick Douglass was a violinist. Just like the Negro baseball leagues, there used to be all-black orchestras in America in the 19th century, and trying to bring these lessons and this inspiration to kids that violin and classical music is for everybody and by everybody, and it's all great stuff that we should all love and enjoy.
Well, I'm sure we're all going to enjoy your newest CD. Tell us about it. You're 24. Does it seem like 24?
Oh my goodness.
Go by overnight?
And you say this is your most important yet.
Absolutely. Well, it's amazing because these collaborators, Sir Neville Marriner, one of the greatest Mozart interpreters in the world, he was 89 in our recording sessions last year and going strong, more energy than any of us. It was such an inspiration. And the great Academy of St. Martin in the Fields, that orchestra, one of the best on the planet. And I grew up listening to their records, listening to their recordings of Mozart, and to then go and play Mozart. You know, they were the guys on the Amadeus soundtrack. And that came out when I was 10. So to me, these guys are Mozart's music. And then to get to play Mozart's music with them on my recording, it's just like absolutely amazing. Just a dream come true.
Yeah, well, speaking of
wait to hear
Mozart,
it.
what are you going to be playing for us today?
Yeah, well, actually, Mozart, in each of his first and last movements of each of his concertos, he left a little moment where you can do your own thing, kind of like a guitar solo at the end of a rock song. So this is my own composition, my own cadenza, which is kind of a fantasy on Mozart's themes from my favorite of his concertos, which is the G major one.
All right.
Great,
Well,
looking forward to hearing it. You're going to
Yes.
play that for us right now.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll
Let's
let you go
jam.
get ready, and please give it up for Rachel Barton Pine.